Welcome to MyFrenchWebradio, the radio of the Alliances Françaises of Malaysia, based in KL and Penang. Today, you're listening to an episode of the program 5 Questions to 5 Questions à. Enjoy! Bonjour, Mr. Yap. First and foremost, let me thank you for coming to Alliances Françaises of Kuala Lumpur today to do this interview, as I know that your schedule has been quite busy lately. It is an honor to have you with us this morning. In fact, you're not only an internationally renowned musician, but also a conductor, teacher, and the founder of numerous musical ensembles and orchestras in Malaysia and in Southeast Asia. So let's start directly with what brings us together this morning, which is Carmen, the famous opera by French composer Georges Bizet, and adapted from a novel by Prosper Mérimée. Carmen will be staged starting this Saturday, October 8th, and until the 15th at the KLPAC, the Kuala Lumpur Performing Arts Center. So could you tell us a bit more about the opera itself and its storyline before we go into more details?
Well, this opera, like you mentioned, is by Bizet. It's a French composer, but the setting of the story is actually in Spain. So Carmen is a gypsy girl who's been trying to tempt Jose from the military, put into modern context. I think it's quite relevant to even to today's scenario and all. Well, this is just cutting everything short. At the end, it's just he felt cheated, and then he just took a revenge by actually killing her. So in the middle, I don't want to say too much. Maybe then you all have element of surprise, and maybe you'll find some magic moment in the opera. So basically, that's the story. Of course, a lot of things happening inside, and we have quite a big cast, and they've been doing quite a long preparation before. Its whole thing is about 2.5 hours. I can assure you, it's worth coming to listen and watch. You won't be bored by the performance. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. So Carmen was created in Paris in 1875. We are now in 2022 and we're in Malaysia. How can you explain the magic of such artworks, knowing that the opera was created almost 150 years ago on a different continent, and how can it still be relevant nowadays in Kuala Lumpur?
Okay, talking about relevance to this, I think it's the same in the arts and all this. We always have to go back and look at the history. Even as architecture, you also go back to see some of the Gothic, the starting, the classical sort of foundation, the basic is all from there. Even though it's already more than a century. So in modern context, what we felt is the story might happen, except the setup, the scene, everything is different in modern days context. But then the story, everything still relevant. And I think it's very, very important to have this, which is properly returned and planned out. And it will let people think of this is because it's a creative production. Some people might experience the same thing, but everyone will see it differently. Maybe relevant to their life, maybe what happened to their friends, and it can happen to even to this day. As you know, music is still like an international language. Even like telling story, everyone listen to a storyteller. Like I always share with my student. I say, if I start the story by saying, once upon a time, in everybody's mind, it's different time now. Everybody is in different mindset now. So it's the same thing here. I think everyone goes there, they will get something back, which I think will be meaningful, where they can relate to, no matter what the situation is.
Yeah, you mentioned music as being a universal language. I think it's also emotions. So the story is about a love story between Carmen, Jose, and the toreador. And so this is, I think, how people can relate also because emotions are human.
Yes.
So going back to a more practical aspect regarding operas, so I'm curious to know more about your position as a conductor and as a sort of manager. So operas are huge productions, and it's sometimes hard to grasp the amount of work and energy needed to achieve such performances and to make them happen. So how many people are involved in the making of Carmen in terms of musicians and singers? Because I forgot to mention, but you're working with the Kuala Lumpur City Opera. And what are the main challenges as a conductor? What do you like the most about being a conductor? So it's 3 questions in one.
All right. Okay, so first of all, before I continue, I just want to thank the Kuala Lumpur City Opera for inviting me, which is an honor, especially from where I base, which is 2.5 hours away, KK. We don't get to do this kind of performance over there, because I involve a lot of a big group production and all this. I'm glad that I was invited, and this one, the production involved about 150 people. So we are talking about the main cast, the principal, and also the principal, about 15 of them, and then the orchestra. Orchestra is, even though this is not full-fledged, we have about 27. We have enough to play whatever is in the original score.
Okay.
Maybe a slightly different instrument, but whatever you hear will be the same. And also we have the choir. Choir, we have the adult choir, which is about 40. In this production, we also have children choir, which is also about 40 of them. Of course, then behind all this, of course, very important is the support from the production team. Production team, we have about 20 plus. All this time we also have dancers. We
Amazing.
have about a handful of them. Yeah, so it's a very big production. And to put this up, there's involved a lot of planning. So each one will have to prepare themselves, and then they have to come together. So the dancer will be with the choreographer. They have to work on their own. So for our music, the orchestra, we come together a few weeks before now, rehearse just the orchestra first. Before that, of course they have to be prepared to before they come to rehearsal individually. The cast, the main cast, the choir will also have their own sectional practice where they have for the choir with Mark Chiho to help to coach them, and of course we have a voice coach for the main cast, like is Cecilia Yap, who has actually helped a lot in all the diction, the pronunciation, the music, everything. And of course we also have the repetitor, the pianist to accompany them. The production team behind, of course, they have to plan on the design, the plot, the staging, everything. So we have on the staging we have Emilia Tan, which is helping. But all this won't be possible without our main person, Danny and Sun Yun. They are putting different group together.
Yeah, you've been working on this for months now.
Yeah.
Finally coming together.
Yeah, so we are quite excited, and everything is running quite smoothly.
Perfect.
It's as expected. So yeah, we are really very looking forward and very excited about this time. And I just heard from KOCO that probably this is the first time they have the most performances, which is 6 performances. From there, I think we are expecting more audience to attend, to come. Extra thing which I would like to mention is I think as everyone know, during COVID for the past 2 years plus, everyone's been in like lockdown mode, quarantine and stay at home and all this. And most of the time, what you hear around the world is only talking about physical health. And then from what we have seen so far from other performances and concerts, you see after we can do all this, you see all the response from audience, everything is kind of different. they sort of appreciate it more, and I think from there we can see, people is really in need or really lacking of this, not only physical health but our mental health. I think over the 2 years has been neglected.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is very important because over the past 2 years there are a lot of cases of emotionally they are affected, like depression and always and anxiety, and a lot of us are actually living in fear of actually getting the COVID, unfortunately. So now open up, and I think everyone can't wait to be, how to say, to get involved or interact with people and all this. I think this is lacking, and plus the performance, it will help. I think a lot of people emotionally, so that they can feel from the performance, and they can
Yeah.
So I think it's
Be nurtured emotionally.
Yeah, will be quite good now. Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up. I think it's true. We never talk about it too much, mental health, and I believe creativity and the arts can help go through different difficult periods of time. And so, I invite our audience to go 6 times to the to the show if they really like it and are in need of emotions and beauty. And also, I thought it was interesting to what you said about the rehearsals and the different groups of artists involved. So basically, it works like a reverse pyramid. You start rehearsing by yourself, then with your group, if you're a musician, with the orchestra, if you're a singer, with the choir, and it becomes bigger and bigger, right?
Yes.
And yesterday it was like everyone was there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's impressive, frankly. 150 people. For my next question, I would like to learn a bit more about your own path. So for this upcoming opera, you will be conducting, but you're also an experienced classical musician and have performed as a soloist in chamber string ensembles, but also you have played jazz music. So it's very eclectic, and I'd like to know how those different ways of practicing music differ, and how do they interconnect together?
Okay. Firstly, thank God for all the opportunities that I have along the way. My first influence, the greatest, actually from my father. When I was young, he enjoyed music, of course, more towards classical and opera as well. So we have listened. I've been listening to all kind of music, include Latin America. And most evening, sitting in the living room and listen to those turntable, the LPs. And I think from there, indirectly, I'm kind of, I would say, programmed into my mind to be more receptive to all different genre and different kind of music. I was lucky that I started the violin when I was really young, 6 years old, and then eventually piano as well. Maybe I started young, so a lot of opportunity because of that. And also even to represent Malaysia and all this, to attend camp and all this. Then I went to study in London, the Royal Academy. Then after that I came back. Luckily, whatever I'm equipped with is what I've been learning was really practical. I'm quite thankful to my college as well. So with that skill, and I was also in a way thankful to have the opportunity to actually use it. When I came back during that time in East Malaysia, we have orchestra, but the standard is of course not as high as now. The first thing I do is to do a tour recital. When I came to this place, a place called Cebu, there were a small group of very keen instrumentalists. Of course, there are brass, wind, and some strings. With a leader there, they were very keen, and they wanted to form an orchestra because they have no idea during that time. Given me a chance to actually try to start something. So I took up the challenge. I moved to Cebu, and slowly I built the orchestra up from nothing. Now looking back, actually the whatever I was doing actually equipped me to be a better person now, to know how to deal with in different level, and also because I was in Cebu and I was doing a lot of organizing concert as well. And we work very closely with other society, like some in Brunei with the Shell company, all this. They always bring in a musician from abroad, and also with different embassy and all this. So when they came this way, when they come near us, which is Brunei over there, then we'll bring them in. We do a few concerts in Sarawak, which I help to organize. Have the very like entry level sort of teaching and music, and on the other hand, I also always in touch with all this, and also with some of my friends around Malaysia, like in Singapore, Philippines, and other places. We keep in touch. Sometimes I go there and perform. Thanks to that, I was able to at least maintain the level. So in a way, very versatile. So eventually, along the way, there's other genre of music like jazz and all this. Because of the friend I've met, and I find from all this, I actually learn a lot from different genres, and how to use the experience to actually to use it, across the board, with different. I think it helps a lot. So it may be more sort of like all-rounder, I would say. Even for instruments, wind, brass, all this. Until now, I was just talking to my friend. I say, if I didn't start like that, I wouldn't have the knowledge of how to help them if they have when they face difficulty. Especially my instrument is not wind or brass. Yeah, so all this actually help a lot. And then I was also very fortunate to have opportunity to perform in overseas, in Hong Kong, and also sometimes join the orchestra and all this. So I was able to keep performing and to better myself all this while. But for the past few years, I have been very passionate on outreach program, and I park it under the orchestra which I founded in KK, Kota, which is the Jesselton Philharmonic Orchestra. The program is we are reaching out to all those underprivileged students to give them a chance to learn. So for me, because along the way I found that especially when we come together to play an orchestra or whatever, it's not so much of course I don't expect everyone to end up a musician or professional musician. What I see is people get to learn, in music, unlike I was always telling other people, unlike other games or whatever, even in synchronized swimming, music is almost like you really have to be really together to be good now. So if you're talking synchronized, this is the discipline which I think is the hardest to, people come together, especially playing orchestra. You need to play together among your group to blend in. Yeah, talking about this, so the rehearsal has been what we are rehearsing on most of the time, because they are mostly professional, is to so that everyone can blend in really well and produce the color that we want, a bit like the arts now. Not only just playing what is on the page, the notes, everything.
It's a collective effort. Yeah.
It's a collective, but then it still have to sound like one. We are actually training them to be better in their sort of like PR skill and even teamwork and leadership, the discipline and everything. What I can see as a result is giving them more self-confidence. And in the process, they also learn how to manage the time, how to best use because every time we come together, or even like the preparation for this opera, of course the time is quite short now. Everyone is not like doing, the orchestra is not full time. They all have their, especially the good one, they're always very busy. We must know how to manage our time so that we make full use of the time now. Yeah, that's what I was doing over there, mainly for the outreach. Beside my career is always teaching, mainly teaching privately and all this.
I can tell that the outreach program is something that really matters. And
I'm quite passionate about all this. Also with the opportunity to perform with professional, which keep me at least, my skill to actually to check on my always, as for me to make sure that I'm not like being affected by all this more sort of lower level of teaching and everything. So it helps a lot, and I'm very thankful. I have so many friends, musician friends around who like to, we like to perform together and all this. Yeah, very thankful. After so many years, I've been back for almost like come close to 3 decades now. So after I study, so
a lot of experience. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So my last question is easiest question, maybe easier question. So could you share with us 3 reasons, according to you, to go and see Carmen at the KLPAC?
I'm not from here, but as far as I know, I think opera for last a full-fledged full production. I don't think besides KL for the past few years, I don't think there's any. As far as I know, there's no opera production or performance of full-fledged.
So it's quite unique.
Yeah. So this will be, well, you might say a big break for people to come out and to really enjoy, because opera is a lot of people, if they never attend, I've talked to people that they thought it's just an orchestra accompanying someone singing in front, but it's a lot of they didn't know there's a storyline, and the story is so long, and then and it's if you go in and you watch, it'll be up and down, the emotionally, you go with the storyline, and then with the music, it really helps. So of course that's one thing, and then
it's
the other
really
one,
intense.
really intense, and then the other thing will be, of course, this time we have 2 different casts. Yeah, so the understudy will get to perform as well. So everyone, of course, they perform differently, with the same music. So it'd be good for them to, well, I would recommend or really encourage the audience, if you would like, maybe to also come for different performance by the different casts now, because it'll be very different. It's like storytelling, different storyteller tells same story, but whatever we perceive or receive is like what we see is different. So there's a second reason. The third reason is, well, if you are new, I think it's time for you to take the chance, or even if you are the so-called hardcore opera lover, well, I think will be good too, because in order to have more of this kind of performance opera, I think if you can, the support is for some of the organizers to put up. I think it's crucial because to keep this going. Yeah. So
to support.
Yeah, to support, because I think this is very important, like I say, for our brand health, maybe. Yeah. So we encourage all, but the best part is the story. If you don't know, well, you better come. I think it'll be. Yeah, there'll be a lot of sort of magic moment inside that you can see, which maybe can touch your heart. Yeah.
Thank you. And also for the mental health. I bring it up again. Thank you so much, Mr. Yap. It was a real pleasure to get to know a little bit more about you, about the upcoming Carmen Opera. And I hope it's not the last time we see you at Alliance.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you had a good time and want to listen to more podcasts, don't hesitate to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or visit our website www.alliancesfrançaises.org.my.